Hello, I'm Rebecca of Pocketful of Posies. Today's video is about upcycling a modern dress that didn't fit into a history-bounding type of blouse. And so I chose to do that with the Black Snail Patterns sport blouse. I started by separating the skirt of the dress from the bodice with scissors. It was serged. I didn't want to go in with seam rippers. I figured that would take forever. So I just cut as close to the seam line as I could. I cut out the blouse front pieces, and the back piece. I didn't have enough length to follow the pattern completely, but I thought I could work with what I had. And so I pinned the shoulder seams and I pinned the side seams, and I just used the hem that was already there. I sewed the shoulder seams and the side seams together. And I used a 1/4 inch seam allowance. I zigzagged the raw edges to keep everything as neat as possible. It's 11:45 a.m. I started this about 10:30. I started pinning the sleeves into the arm size. And then at the top of the shoulder, I gathered it by hand to fit into the shoulder. Then I had some puppy love. Thor and Loki came in for some pets. I cut a 1 inch wide strip of cotton organdy to use for interfacing on the center fronts. I sewed an interfacing strip to the right center front as well as the left center front. I trimmed that seam allowance. And then I folded the right center front to the outside and the left center front to the inside for button plackets. Now this was mostly different because I made a mistake and did one to the inside and one to the outside, but it doesn't really matter. I top stitched both sides of the button plackets as close to the edge as I could. Next, I figured out the button and buttonhole placement that I needed and wanted, and I marked that with a heat-sensitive pen. Fingers crossed, it's buttonhole time. I think I held my breath while I was sewing most of them. And in the end, they almost all turned out fine. Yay! Just one of them was wonky. I used seam rippers to open them up, and I used a pin to make sure I didn't cut too far. It is 2:34. I took a lunch break, and then I've been working again about an hour. I forgot to check the time when I started, but it's been about an hour. And I am about to put the buttons on. I got the buttonholes done. All of them came out well except for one. So things are improving buttonhole wise. So check back in when I get the buttons on. Then I sewed the buttons on. For the collar, and you all know my fear of collars, I decided to just use some lace and some twill tape. I sandwiched the wrong side of the lace to the right side of the collar opening, and then the twill tape on top of that. I sewed that down all around the opening for the net. Then I used my pinking shears to trim the seam allowance. And I then turned the twill tape to the inside and pinned it. I sewed the twill tape in place by hand with a whip stitch. And the stitches are not very noticeable on the outside. I tried not to pick up too many threads on the outside for this, but also the lace covers it. Then it was all together and in need of ironing. All right, 3:59 p.m. and we're done except for ironing. So I put it on with my Victorian undergarments and my walking skirt, and I think the result is very cute. Not historically accurate, but it would definitely work for a history-bounding look, and the ruffles make me very happy. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you will join me again on my next sewing adventure. I also hope you will join the CosTube community for our end of July, very beginning of August, costuming extravaganza online known as CoCoVid. I hope to see you there. I will link the information for you down below. I'll see you next time.